Everybody, and welcome to Shift Report. I am your hostess, Janie Garner, and I'm here to talk to you about RaDonda Vaught's arraignment hearing. On the 20th, RaDonda will be arraigned for her charge of reckless homicide. It's one of those, like the next step in the process. I had to look up arraignment because I had no idea what it actually meant. So what apparently happens when you are arraigned is that you give your plea. So they say, to the charge of reckless homicide, how do you plead? And they say guilty or not guilty. There's also something called an Alford plea I saw that's, like saying, well, I'm not guilty, but I'm going to be found guilty. So I'm not in any way an attorney. That's why we had Lori Brown on. But her arraignment hearing will be on the 20th at I think it's at 9 o'clock. So I will arrive in Nashville tomorrow night. For those of you that may come to the arraignment hearing, which I hope you do. I really hope you do, because we could use a show of nursing support there. So is anybody coming to the arraignment hearing, guys? Anybody coming to the arraignment hearing? Because I'm going to be there, and I know that she's got some friends who are going to be there, local nurses and all that. But I would love to see some Show Me Your Stethoscope people there. So I hope you decide to come. I will get there between 8 and 8:30, weather and coffee permitting. I'm actually going to arrive in Nashville at like 8 p.m., I think, tomorrow. So, so it's kind of new for me staying in Nashville all by myself, but I found a hotel. And hopefully they have good Indian food there, because that's what I do. Every time I leave St. Louis, I go in search of Indian food because I love it. And we have lousy Indian food here. At this arraignment hearing, she will say, she will plead guilty or not guilty. I'm not sure what she's going to plead. I know a lot of attorneys tell you to plead not guilty. So I'm assuming that, that's probably, I don't know though, because it's not something that I am privy to. I have very, very carefully not asked RaDonda a whole lot about her legal situation, because I just do not believe it is any of my business. How's that? In the age of the internet, in the age of the interwebs, we sometimes we just decide that something is not any of our business, and sometimes it isn't. Guys, this is such a sad and weird thing. I just wish that we could like turn back time and make Charlene Murphy alive. And, oh dear, that is a long link. We're going to get rid of that. I wish we could go back and make Charlene Murphy alive, and make all this go away. I really do. Especially, for Charlene's family, for Charlene herself, and of course for RaDonda. I wish things had gone differently. I'm sure she wishes daily that things had gone differently. How could you not, right? Yeah, it is very upsetting. It is very upsetting. She's not, I gotta tell you, she seems like a really nice person too. And there isn't a thing we can do to make her feel any worse about anything that's happened than has already happened. You guys like my plaid shirt? It's my dad's. I'm having kind of a bad day today, so wearing the dad plaid shirt. I know, right? Totally weird. So arraignment hearing, we find out if we're guilty or not, we find out if we're pleading guilty or not guilty. And then we go on from there. So, yeah. All right. So good news is not ours, it's RaDonda's GoFundMe account is up to about $65,000. And I'm going to post the link in here. So she's probably going to need $150,000 to prosecute this case. Well, not prosecute, but defend this case. So, yeah, Lisa Phillips, she already has a life sentence. Yes, she does already have a life sentence. I'm certain your support has meant the world to RaDonda, despite you not delving in deeper with her. Yeah, honestly, I don't want to know about her, about all the legal aspects of her case. I don't want to know about it. I've read the CMS report, the investigation. I have my own opinions about everything that's happened, and I am completely. Here's the thing. There isn't a damn thing we can do to RaDonda Vaught to make her feel any worse or punish her any more than what has happened. Sure, we can sling her in a jail cell at taxpayer expense and all that. And maybe, I don't know, somebody will feel better. I have no idea who will feel better because the family doesn't want her prosecuted. I don't want her prosecuted. A lot of people don't want her prosecuted. There's some people that do and are very vocal about it, which is okay. I'm in Palm Harbor, Florida. Where are you coming from to be there, Janie? This is a short amount of time for one to take off and travel. It is. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm flying out tomorrow night, and I'm coming back the following day, right after the arraignment hearing. It's really fast. And these quick turnaround trips always make me exhausted too, so that'll be terrific. But, it's so important. It's so important that we're there to support her, because you're not just supporting RaDonda Vaught, okay? And you're not against Charlene Murphy or Charlene Murphy's family. What you are is recognizing that in the battle days before Just Culture, before we were free to report our errors without, big repercussions, people didn't report their errors. People covered them up. And now we're in a situation where if you can be indicted for reckless homicide for making what was an egregious but honest mistake, it was not premeditated. There were a lot of things going on in the hospital and in that particular position. That complicated this whole case. It complicated everything. They were in the middle of an epic rollout. The hospital appears to have covered up what happened. There's a lot of different things that have gone on here. But what I do know is that if you prosecute nurses for making what is, though tragic, still an inadvertent medication error, you're going to make nurses less likely to report. And actually, it's funny, on one of the posts, somebody said to me, "Stop saying that I'm going to be less honest." It's not my opinion. And you may very well turn yourself in, but we can't do empirical things. This is evidence. This is why we adopted Just Culture in healthcare. It's because people did lie and cover up their errors. It's not because I'm not saying that you're dishonest. I'm saying that if there's a chance for you to go to prison, you are more likely to not come forward with your errors. And we know this. Anybody who's been a nurse for more than, 10 or 15 years knows that that's how this used to happen. So what we're doing here is we're not necessarily, though I am, in a sense, standing up for RaDonda, I'm actually standing up for this profession because we cannot afford for RaDonda Vaught to be found guilty of reckless homicide. We can't. We can't afford it because then it will be you next. And it will be not even something that killed somebody. It will be an assault for medication error that caused some harm. It will be battery. It will, I mean, if we put people in jail every time they make a medication error, do you know that we haven't finished like collating everything that's happened with the study, like the poll we did? It was a Survey Monkey survey or something survey. If we haven't closed that, throw it in here, would you, Jen? Something like 75% of all respondents had made a medication error. 75%. So can we really afford to start prosecuting people for their errors? I mean, can we really afford that? I don't see how we can. And I don't think it's going to help. I think it's going to make patients less safe because people are going to be less likely to report their error in time with us being able to do something about it. I think, oh yeah, Darlene has posted the CMS report. If you guys haven't seen the full CMS investigation, please read it. Because you should read the real deal. It's 56 pages long. Don't get me wrong. It was not an exciting read. It was terrifying because a lot of what's in there is going to show you exactly what string of circumstances actually caused this error. And it was terrible. Oh, Jennifer was dying today, but the survey is closed. The other 25% who don't admit to having made a med error just didn't notice it or haven't been doing this long enough. And yeah, Carrie says the other 25% were not honest. I am sure there are nurses who have not made an error yet or have not noticed themselves making an error. And that's just the nature of the beast, y'all. We do so much so quickly and with so little staff and with the deck stacked against us, it's going to happen this way. And Charlene Murphy, who is the victim here, is never coming back. And I don't think Charlene Murphy would like her case to make things less safe for other patients. And that's what's going to happen. Again, you can not agree with me on that. You can say, no, I'm honest and I would always report my errors. Well, tell me that when you've got a jail sentence hanging over your head if you're going to go to prison. That's what I'm concerned about. So guys, please, if you haven't donated to RaDonda Vaught's GoFundMe, which I've posted a couple times in the comments, please consider doing that. If you're just poor as poor can be, please go ahead and share it with people if you can. Even if you donate it, please donate to it. Please share. Kim, you can click on it as soon as the live cast is over, and it's Googleable. Anybody, these are public record CMS reports. They are public record. So if you were outside the hour window, says Carrie, it is considered an error. So if you're outside the hour window of giving some, I don't know, insulin, and your patient's blood sugar is 500 and they start exhibiting symptoms, is that going to be like battery? So that's the question. All right, guys. And at the end of this, we're giving a Show Me Your Stethoscope tip. If you are sick of seeing shoe posts or scrubs posts or job interview posts or whatever, if you click in the top right-hand corner of the post, you can actually hide it from your timeline. And I just wanted to make sure you knew that because I want you to be able to personalize your experience and Show Me Your Stethoscope. And on Facebook, I promise I'm not trying to be mean, if I tell you that, or gaslighting, which is what somebody said earlier. Okay, I love you guys, and I will talk to you live from Nashville tomorrow on another episode of The Shift Report.